Hello. Today's episode number 132 of the Professor Slots podcast discusses how slots is a thinking person's game. Plus, in this episode, I'll be covering the current state of slot machine casino gambling in the great U.S. state of Louisiana. Thank you for joining me for the Professor Slots podcast show. I'm John Friedel, and this is a podcast about slot machine casino gambling. It is where I provide knowledge, insights, and tools for helping you improve your slot machine gambling performance. In case you missed it, on my last episode, I gave a tour of my Professor Slots website, channel, and Facebook community groups for my weekly live stream Q&A session on YouTube. Further, I reviewed Kentucky's slot machine casino gambling in 2021. I hope you enjoyed listening to my last episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Remember to visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Here's the audio recording of my latest live stream Q&A session. Hello, slots enthusiasts. How are you? I'm John Friedel. Welcome to Professor Slots, a channel where you learn to play slots smarter to ultimately leave the casino with your winnings. It's great to see you all here again for another Professor Slots podcast episode and live stream. If you're with us today, okay, shut that off. If you're with us today live, be sure to say hello and ask your slots-related questions. I'll check in with the live chat a little later in the show. And special thanks to Paula for being our moderator today. Thanks, Paula. Thanks also to the many new slots enthusiasts participating in this weekly live stream or download my podcast episode. It's great to have you all here. Today, we're going to be diving into 2 winning slot strategies that so far have remained unnumbered and unnamed. These strategies are not my 7 winning slot strategies. There are 2 additional ones. If you found me on YouTube, where my popularity has surged lately, you probably know me for strategy 1, only win immediately, more commonly known as the 5-spin method. That strategy out of a total of 7 strategies. But today I wanted to clearly state 2 more strategies, which in the past I've only implied exist and haven't clearly laid out. So let's do that in the framework of explaining the thinking person's game, how to win at slots. But first, I want to acknowledge Sally. She gave a super chat. Very much appreciated support of the show. We had a very lively pre-show for the last 20 minutes, and it's very colorful, very busy, and a little bit distracted, as you may have noticed, but also very wonderful. So if you want to come a few minutes early next time, join us. But Sally has given a super chat, and she says, "Hi, pro piece." It's inside joke. Finally got myself in here. Brain cells revving up, ready to learn. LOL. So my name is John Friedel, and Friedel is the German word for peace. And that's where she gets that from. I tell people my secrets, I guess. Now I've told everybody. But I also want to, more hands, share Chuck. Chuck has also given a super chat, and it says, "Let's get this started off right." So thank you very much, Chuck, for your support of the show. And finally, for those of you who are on the live stream, not watching it later, I don't share the live chat later. It's only here live if you want to see it. I now have memberships on YouTube, and I'll talk about that towards the end of the show when more people show up. But I want to acknowledge Robin. Welcome to being a channel member. Sally, welcome to being a channel member. And I think, is Jan here yet? I think that's all I've seen. And I'll again later I will show you how to do all of that. But if you're here and you see some extra icons, badges, and emojis, I shared all of them during the pre-show. These are only for members It's something that's offered. So if you want to join at any level, these are available at the lowest level. So I call it my Players Club. I'll get into that later in the show, but I wanted to sort of explain why these things are different. Okay, so special perks and rewards for those people who become members, and the more perks and rewards for higher level. Talk about that later. So I want to talk about these two additional strategies, which I haven't given numbers to. And I want to, so how do you win at slots? Well, you walk into a casino intending to play slot machines and do what exactly? Randomly play whichever slot machine happens to catch your eye without thinking about it? You should have a plan. And I wanted to give you mine. So the most common way, keep sure I get caught up. Jan's here too. Jan is also a member. Hello, Jan. Priority responses to comments for members. That's one of the perks. So the most common way to start a plan, the beginning of this presentation, which will be an article later and also a short video instead of an hour long, a live stream, is how to start planning. So the most common way to start a plan is to realize you need one. Are you winning at slots? No? Then you need a plan. Are you winning enough at slots? No? Then, once again, you need a plan. A large part of starting and having a plan is organization. How you reach the level of organization you need for slots is entirely up to you, because that's how being organized works. I had students when I was a professor who would ask me tell me how to be organized. And I'm like, I can't tell you how to be organized. You are already organized at least a little bit. Some more, some less, but you need to build it yourself. So you decide how you organize and how to become more organized when that becomes necessary. So this freedom means you figure out how to organize my plan for you. You decide how to remember its parts, how to keep track of each part as you implement it, and how to and what to keep track of. You decide whether to use a pen and notepad for keeping track of things or use an Microsoft Excel spreadsheet instead. Google Documents comes to mind. So whatever you decide, your approach to organizing works just fine. They all do eventually, but you decide now. So step one, decide on your gambling goals. Before walking into a casino, you need to know what you want. By the way, those of you who have watched my videos and read some of my articles and listened to my podcasts, this presentation brings together a lot of things I've talked in the past. So there's separate videos. I'll mention a few of them and put a few links into the description, etc., where you can go find like my strategies. Or my primer or definitions or finding candidate slot machines, assessing casinos, all of that. So I thought this is time for this presentation so that you can start using some of the other stuff I presented. One of them is identifying your gambling goals. So before you're walking into a casino, you need to know what you want. Why? Because otherwise, how do you know if you've gotten what you want? Consider these top-level slots gambling goals: entertainment, complimentary gifts, money. Okay, we've got something. Nahal, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. No doubt I am. Thank you for your donation. It is a super chat, and he says, howdy, Professor. Lovely last name. Yeah, I mentioned, it to women on dates, and so far hasn't worked, but sorry, sense of humor. He says, lovely last name. Cheers to another great podcast. Should the casino have a problem with you writing down on a paper with a pen? Well, let's go through the plan and see what you actually need to write down, because spoiler alert, you might want to sketch out the casino floor I know other members in the live chat, we've discussed that, but I'll show you another way. Mostly I'm trying to do all this so you're, don't have to do things that might get you in trouble at some casinos. I don't want that. So I'll solve that now. And I'll show you, what do they say? I won't give you a fish. I'll teach you how to fish. So later I'll explain how to do this yourself without notes. But basically what I do is leave my notepad, whatever it is, in the car. Because I don't want to drive home an hour or half an hour or 4 hours and then try to remember what happened. It's a minimum amount of information. And it also helps if you go into a casino and do one thing at a time. So to answer your lovely question. So entertainment, complimentary gifts or comps, and money. Make sure I do that. And entertainment, comps, money. Which goal jumps out at you as most important to you? Are any of them tied or nearly tied as most important? If you were to rank them in order from most important to you to least important to you, what would it be? There are only 6 possibilities. If you change the order, what is number 1, what is number 2, and number 3, there's only 3 possibilities. So decide. And as a reminder, enter your choice of goal at the top of your notebook, whether physical or digital, to remind yourself of this. So great. Well done. Excellent progress. Step 2, decide on your casino. Yeah. Tell me in the live chat, what's your goal? Please speak up. Step 2, decide on your casino or casinos. There are nearly 1,000 casinos in the U.S. from huge casino resorts with 18-hole golf courses and thousands of slot machines to tiny convenience store casinos with only a few, perhaps not even legal, slot machines. So what's your favorite casino? I've asked this question of slots enthusiasts over 5,000 times as I welcome new members to my 57 private state-by-state slots enthusiast community Facebook groups. That's a mouthful. The most common answer is the casino closest to where I live. I've gotten that already today a couple of times. That's a great answer because it's so very, very true. By the way, if you don't mind my saying so, my favorite answer is any casino I win at. Professor Slots approves. But given the most common answer is nearby, what casinos are near you? In your notes, make a list. Google it. Casinos near me is a great search term. Google it if need be, or click on your state in my state-by-state online resource, which will take you to my slots article for your state. So just to show that to you for the first time, not the first time, but to show this to you, this is my website. Sorry to the podcast listeners, but if you go to professorslots.com, you'll see what we're looking at in the live chat right now. There is a second tab over from the left, which says state by state. And if you, on a laptop, if you press that and hold it, you can slide down to some of these other areas. So press that button and it'll show the list. So you can go to the summary article, which is here, and slide on down. These are the Facebook groups, a list of them with links to each, and then alphabetically all 56 states, a link to each. So, and also the latest review that I did for it. So if we switch to, somebody call out a state in the live chat. Tell me which one you want to look at. And nobody says anything. How about Oklahoma? That should resonate. If I have to pick, I will pick Oklahoma. So down NMO, Oklahoma. So now I'm showing you Oklahoma slots slot machine casino gambling in 2020. Too late, Skinny Cricket, too late. I can't just like pause the show. Sorry, on your toes, man. Sorry, I don't mean to tease. So you basically go through different sections here. Irrelevant legal statutes, private ownership of slot machines, gaming control board, and then a long list of casinos, which are followed by a map. So this map is crowded and not how I usually do it. So maybe I'll back up here and what was the first one? Somebody said Illinois. So let's go to Illinois. It's a little less crowded and more like all the other states. Nevada is just harder. It's like Oklahoma. It's just the map is a little bit different from every other state. So I went to Illinois and I follow all the same sections. After I list the casinos, there's a state map. So, where are you in the state and which casinos, your state, and which casinos are near you? Each one of these articles has a map and it's a guide, or you can just Google casinos near me, but you might get some of those casinos. You might get some of card rooms, things other than slots. Oh, here we go. Awesome. Thank you, Russ. Russ has given a super chat. Very much appreciated in support of the show. Did you give us, you didn't say anything. So do we take a moment of silence? Is that how that works? But thank you, Russ, for your support of the show. And pardon my sense of humor. Apparently I'm funny today. So that's, where you can go. My state-by-state online resource of weekly articles takes me about 13 months to get through all of them, and I'm on my fourth time through. So that's helpful for you to find casinos near you. So you have a list of local casinos. That's good. Close the sharing, and that's good. However, maybe you travel a lot. Like maybe you spend half the year in Florida or make regular trips to Las Vegas or Atlantic City. I know some people in the live chat who do spend a lot of time in Florida, a large portion of the year in Florida. So, that's also something you have to look into. But if you go to Las Vegas, or, there's 9 casinos in Atlantic City, there's 163 in Las Vegas. You've got other places like, Reno, Biloxi, Tunica. So if you make travel plans to go to another state, again, this article and Googling these places, my article consolidates a bunch of different information, always the same. Answers are different, but the questions are the same, which can be very helpful. But if you're going to go take a trip to Las Vegas, email me or look for my article about vacationing in Las Vegas, because it gets a little more complicated than the 1 or 2 casinos that might be near you. It's still this plan. It's just expanded to 8 casinos for Atlantic City, 163 casinos for Las Vegas, and that's not Nevada. Nevada's 163 casinos, right? I think there was, last I counted, 66 casinos in Las Vegas, but 163 casinos in Nevada. So that's a bit much, but the plan still expands to that. It's just a bigger plan. So step 3, online stuff. All right. We haven't even gotten to I'm going to make sure I stop sharing that. Right. So we haven't gotten to going to the casino, and but the last section before that happens, and before we take a break, is online stuff. We already talked a little bit about that, but now you have your notes, your goals, and your list of casinos. Next, you'll need to get online, even if you only have one casino near you. I'm not suggesting you go to the casino's website, since those are nearly useless. Although I like those casino websites, which now have interactive casino maps, sometimes integrated, like WinStar is integrated into their slot machine finder tool, which is pretty interesting. I've talked about that in the past. So I'm hoping I think more casinos will get that this year. But it's a great thing, a great tool for us. And part of what this topic is going to be about. It's a tool that we can use for this discussion. So, with those things, notes, goals, casinos, you need to go online, not to go to the website for the casino, but to go to the state's gaming board. You can also, I clarify this for each state. If you go to the state article, it sometimes is a tribal gaming control board. Sometimes it's state run. Sometimes it's a combination of the two. For 36% of you in 18 out of 50 states, your gaming commission will offer monthly return statistics with slots player win percent. And for 6% of you, 6 out of 50 states, you'll have return statistics broken down by slot machine denomination. These reports, if your state offers them, are must-have information. Again, I've collected all the links you need in the payout and returns section of my slots article for your state. So just to share that again, this is Illinois. And if you go down to the payout and return section just before the summary, I talk about both the theoretical payout limits that are set, what they are. It's not a number, it's a range. It's important. And also where you might find them, and if there are return statistics available, and what are the links to them. And then for the time of that article, like I say, I update the article every 13 months. I'll say whatever the most recent values are in a succinct manner, so you can get an idea what I found. So every one of the articles that has this available to them, every gaming commission has this available. I put those links similarly into those other state articles. And, that's crucial. There are a lot of other states that don't have that information. It's only 36% is 18 out of 50, and 1 in 3 chance. There's also 6%, which is slot machine return denominations, and that would by slot machine denomination, and that would be wonderful. But sometimes you don't have it. You need to check just to see if you have this, so you don't set it aside. Also, these reports, besides being must-have, you need to check to see if they're available. Even if your chosen casino is tribal, check anyway. You might be surprised that how there are several states which also have reports on the returns from tribal casinos. 4 or 5 states. And like I said, if they have it, you would need to know. If you don't have it, you're going to be okay. But if you do have it, you wouldn't want, if they do have it, offer it, and you don't check, that's a miss. So if your state offers them, you might learn how each casino near you ranks in terms of player win percent. For a great explanation of what I'm suggesting that you do, see my interview, A Closer Look at Casino Slot Payouts, with the local ABC 27 Evening News in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, when they did an investigative report on their local casino, and they called me up and we did an interview. 4-hour interview for a 4-minute video. So I will stop this there, and you can see what I'm talking about. So this is Dennis Owens, and he is going through a 4-minute video where he shows Pennsylvania's return statistics for that month, and also looks at trends over the years, because they were wondering if that local casino, Penn National, near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, why does it have such a terrible reputation? And they go through it, and it's all very clear. It's all very succinct. It's a loan. Other places in Pennsylvania, closer to Philadelphia, have a group of casinos, and the odds are better because they're competing. But all alone in that corner of the state is just Penn National. And they looked at the return statistics and saw it was fantastic on the first year it was open. And after that, it's just been a slide down. So I won't show you that, but it's professorslots.com/ABC27, and will take you to the that investigative news report. So And I'll close this ad and stop sharing that screen. Okay, so if it's available, you need to know. Now, let's take a break. Before continuing with step 4, let's go to your casino. That's what the next step is. Let's check in with the live chat to briefly say hello and see if I missed anything and if there's any questions. Okay, so I it's getting to be very busy with a lot of the chat, and so I will scan through it and see what there is. AK is here. Good to see you. Finally sent you a little something in the mail today. Oh, thank you. YouTube and PayPal and Amazon and all of them take their cut. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can. I'll close that. You can. There's my address, not my home address, but my business address is available at the bottom of my channel. So just to share that, let's see. Right. A little bit quicker at switching back and forth. If you scroll down to the bottom of my channel, you'll see both my voicemail. It's a Google Voice 3-minute messages, 702-90 slots. And then also my business address, where which you can use. Check it fairly regularly. Okay. For those on the podcast, 707 Miamisburg Centerville Road, number 305, Dayton, Ohio, 45459. Right. Really moving along today. So see if I can find something in this scan. Thank you, AK. Very much. Appreciate it. Jan is here. Warm and sunny Texas. Yeah, you say that every time. If it's not a hurricane, that is. Jalen Napoleon has a question. How can, let's see, I try to share this so everybody can see it. This is what happens when it gets busy. Jay Napoleon. How can anyone really win when the slots use a random number generator? The random number generator has a small role. There is a 2009 video out on YouTube with 8 million views that has explained random number generators poorly, and I'm being generous. It's just not how slot machines work. They're random, okay? It doesn't do, it's like those Facebook memes where they say, you had one job. It's a small but important and legally protected role. So random number generator chooses, just very briefly, and hopefully I'm not going to start an argument, random number generator chooses a number from a list. Okay? It doesn't choose them equally. A random number generator is not 6-sided die, where every side of the dice, of the die, is equal in area. So if you roll it, it's a 1 in 6 chance it'll land on one of those sides. It's there's something in statistics. If you've had statistics, it's you have to get a little technical here. So I'm trying to find the right words. Do you know what a weighted average is? Have you had statistics? A weighted average. I'm going to go a little far here. Frequency distribution. Each choice on the list that the random number generator chooses from, it's not equal. It's less likely for higher values, more likely for lower values, particularly no win at all. So it's called a probability distribution. And that's what the random number generator is choosing from. Random number generator is protected, locked away, sealed with tape. 2 state officials have to be there, depending on the state. So it's protected. But the frequency distribution of what's going to happen, the selection that the random number chooses from, is controlled by the state or controlled by the casino. They have limitations. That's what a theoretical payout is. It says not less than 75%. Okay, 75% or more, including over 100%. They're completely free to do that. It's not protected, except stay within the limits. The lower limit in Nevada is 75% on a theoretical payout. It can be over 100%. It doesn't like Illinois will stop it at 100%. But in Nevada, it's 75% on a theoretical payout or more. And what's the state average for returns? Usually 93%. Last week it was 92. Last month it was 92.7. This week it's 93.2. So it hovers around 93%, not 75%. So that's why people have a misunderstanding. And I blame that 2009 video. Honestly, I need to try to fix that. But there's 8 million people who saw it and believed it. Okay. That answers your question. You may not like the answer, but that's the answer to the question. Right. Did I miss something? I did. And Anthony, thank you for your support of the show and your donation. He provided a super chat. It is 1 hand pay and a taxable jackpot utilizing a combination of your tips. Now it seems like the casino is trying to recoup their assets. But seriously, will a casino try to get someone more losses after a big win? No. It's always going to be something that you can't prove a negative. People are always going to think that they're out to get them. And I never try to convince people that, I can point out the laws, that they're already making money, that they would not risk making millions a month to make sure you don't get your $20 or $200 or $2,000 or $20,000. They wouldn't mess with their millions coming in the door in profit each month. That sometimes convinces people not to worry about this. The other thing that I say is, from my point of view, I look at the technology, like random number generators. What's the technology? I've had far more statistics than I probably ever wanted. Like 8 graduate level courses, every degree, 8 of my degrees, every degree was like, you really ought to take a statistics course. And I'm pleased to have done that. But if you look at the financial reports, and I need to do international gaming technology, I think the report just came out in March, maybe a couple of days ago, maybe today. Look at their reports given to the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission. They have to write in layman's terms, so they're legally required to do that, and then they have to explain everything. I've been reading them for a while, and they talk about some of the products. They don't give away proprietary information, but they do talk in general about what their offerings are. Lottery systems, casino operating systems, most central servers, and as well as slot machines, that programs and their players club stuff, whatever the slot machine manufacturer provides to casinos. And one of them, like I said, is the central computer and the software on it. So they analyze the results for casinos, because every slot machine, except for riverboat casinos, and we'll talk about that, are connected to the central server, which can change the odds remotely. This is just high level stuff. But the reports were interesting, the financial reports given to the government, which was interesting because they were saying how quickly they could analyze the results of what's going on in the slot machines. Yes, they know instantly. They don't know. The computer knows, but it's stored and not analyzed immediately because there's a lot of things going on. And there are about 3.5, 4 hours, depending on the size of the casino. So if they come after you 4 hours later, it's because they have justification. Now, let's say they get upset with you. It's private property. They can kick you out. They have to let you in, but you have to leave if you're asked to leave. Those are the rules. So if they stand there and look at you and begin to get a suspicion that you're winning too much, you will be asked to leave. And that's it. They don't have control of the algorithm. They can't change the odds on your machine. It's just not possible. And technically speaking, hopefully that argument, persuades you. And I'm going on about this a bit much, but it is a common question, and no doubt I'll get lots of arguments about it. I need to challenge people more about this thing, about this old way of thinking that was misunderstood at the time, like random number generators. They're not out to get you unless they are. And if they are, they're going to ask you to leave. Now, there's an addendum to this, which is, what if you're at a tribal casino? Well, the tribal casino has a tribal court and tribal jail, and habeas corpus does not apply to reservations. So that's a whole conversation. So, how do I put this? If they're against you, you'll know it immediately, but it's not because they're not going to be able to change the odds. Not for you. Okay. Excellent questions today. Did I miss anything before we get back to stuff? Chuck and Joe from Indiana going to try your luck at Hoosier Park today. Have fun. Wish you luck, because you know what? Luck helps too. And saying hello to everybody. Let's see, go through this. Michael says hi. Hi, Michael. He's in Denver. Skinny Cricket says make money. Others people say have fun. Sally says ding, 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 cha-ching. I think that means money. And then I had asked about states, which is good to know. Getting into the... Okay, so many comments here. I'm not going to be able to get through all of them. Thank you, Nancy, for watching all of my YouTube videos. Biloxi Girl, great. Blah, blah. What was the last jackpot I won? I have not risked my life with COVID. So this was last year, and it was $4,000. What I've been doing personally, I play high limit, and I still do occasionally, but you guys don't. I mean, a few of you do. So I need to learn how to pay a penny slot machine, which honestly, I hate to play, but it's harder to get a hand pay, a jackpot. So, if you want to say jackpot, depending on what you mean, the most recent amount that I won was like $230 on the gold machine, on a penny slot machine. But then it was like 200 a couple minutes later, and 200 a couple minutes later, and 200 a couple minutes later. It's a pretty interesting experience. You should remember the golden rule. But anyway, moving on from blah, blah. Magpie. Hi, Magpie. Goal is to win 1/3 of my bankroll, then leave. I call it spending dollars goal. Yeah. I'm running out of time. Oh, blah, blah says, I thought this was a live Q&A. You asked the question, I answered it. How is this not a live Q&A? But if you don't want to stay, please don't. I don't go to casinos and record my play because it's far too late, as we'll discuss in a moment. What I'm trying to convey to you is how to find a slot machine. Once you sit down, it's all over and done. Okay. Thanks, blah, blah. AKA Miss Wind Creek in Pennsylvania. Enjoy their high limit slot room. Also get 2 free rooms a week now, but I'm in Michigan. Never win anything in the fire escape room. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, bye-bye. Blah, blah. Let's see. Yeah, enjoy your weekend, as AK says. I think, did I miss some? I'm sorry. There's a lot happening. Isaac had a super chat. Hey, Professor Slots, I hit a mega jackpot of $2,000 on online slots this morning. Not sure if you could answer this. Do they give a W2G on the winnings? Do I put it in my records? It really does depend on the casino. This is one of the big difficulties of online is there are no regulations. I mean, some states are beginning to get some. Look into frequently asked questions. That's where you find your answer. You can also try some of the UK websites that compare different online casinos. They rank them according to how good they are and with services and features. Some of those might give you an answer of what to expect. But thanks for the question, and thank you for your support. Okay, I'm going to get back to things. Check for the people who are members. Sally says, I mostly only play either $1 or $5 or $10 slots. I don't have the patience for small stuff. Yeah, personally, I like high limit. That's just what I do. But then for you guys, I can't just do one thing. I need to do all of them. And that's what I've been focused on, because you ask a high limit question, I've got the answer. But if you want to know about low limit, I need to really get myself going. Eat, sleep, breathe slots. Hi, John. Do you suggest real machines or slots with all the bells and whistles? I think you might be asking about physical reels versus video slot machines. In the casino that you're at, whether it's physical reels or video display, the guts have been torn out of the old physical reel machines. You can sometimes see this when you see the player interface has been updated to the modern touchscreen, when before it was just an LED screen, which would say like, hi, John, you can see, and the interior has been torn out. So, so they have identical electronics internally, except of course, the display is a video display on the video slot machines with a big display. And so they have to have that component, but basically they got it. And they're all updated. It's not like they have two systems, a casino with some controlled by a remote server and others not. They're all the same. The exterior looks nice, though. It's like comfortable, the old style, but the internals are all been switched out. Whew. I got to get back to this. Let's see. I think that's kind of it. Yeah. John Arnott has a question. It's about, you believe if you have double bars right across on a progressive blazing 7, that's a good sign of something to become, or a single bar is a triple bars? I would say not. There's, I've tried to go with, explain the primary ways to win. What happens on a slot machine is decided, the results are decided when you make a bet. Okay. And everything else after that is just a show. Now, nobody else knows what the result would be, so you have to wait for it. It's not like somebody else was told and you're not. But the results are determined at that time. And it is a random number generator. It's just not equal across the board. One of the things that's important, people have also asked about, just to get myself in trouble, how can you have a taste at the beginning of sitting down? Well, you can't have a taste on one slot machine. It has to be the whole casino, because that's fair. And we can talk about that some other time. I've mentioned it in the past. Okay. Soaring Eagle High Limit slot room. I've been there. It was early days, but I have been there, and I had a terrible time. But it was kind of in the afternoon, and I was walking around with my sister and ex-brother-in-law. I have to go back because half my family gambles there, and I'll have a report on that before too long. Okay. Step 4, let's go to your casino. And I've got 17 minutes to get this out. So hopefully I don't talk too fast for you. And hide that. Whew, thanks for all the excellent questions. You guys are rocking and rolling. Okay. With that preparation under your belt, possibly including watching my 11 practical slots management, money management tips, and maybe my learning how to play slot machines primer. If you're very new at playing slots, it's time to go to the casino. Links to both of those video playlists are in the show notes, or will be after we finish up here. Perhaps the best place to start with explaining how to win at slots is for you to stop. Go to the casino and stop. Stopping is critical to thinking, where thinking is the key to success. Too many slots enthusiasts take a random approach to playing slot machines. Well, I suppose I shouldn't say too many do this. It's from those slot machines, it's from those slots enthusiasts that casinos make their profits. If casinos didn't make a profit, a huge profit, they couldn't stay open. But that doesn't mean it needs to be you that funds their operations. Leave that to other slots enthusiasts. So if you arrive at a casino, stop, listen, walk around, and don't gamble yet. You get better at slots, whatever your goal, whatever goal you have, as you become more familiar with your casino. Is it busy? Is it not busy? Well, to know the difference, you have to actually go to the casino at least twice, sometimes more, in order to be able to hear the difference. Have you gone enough times to this casino to know the difference yet? Get to know your casino as you play slots. Get really good at it. I'm a science fiction fan, so I'll use a time travel metaphor. Imagine you're picked up by a time traveler in their space-time ship and dropped off at your casino last week on some day during the time of day you normally go to that casino. All right, question for you. What day is it? What day of the week is it? Don't look at your phone. Don't look at your watch. Don't try to ask somebody what day of the week it is, what year. Sorry, science fiction fan. Based on the feel of the casino, tell me the day of the week. This is not hard to do once you get used to your casino. Mondays are different from Tuesdays, different from Wednesdays, different from, each day is different. You can tell. It isn't, that's the level of familiarity you need to get used to, because you need to be able to desensitize yourself to that difference. Now, sometimes every casino is busy. San Manuel is like that. It is just busy all the time. But if you listen to the noise, it's people speaking. But you can also hear there's no ding, 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 dings, right? How much of that noise is the sound of jackpots? So even in Hard Rock Tampa, which is just crowded all the time, you can still listen for the sound of winning. It's a little easier when you don't have that many people in the casino, and the whole thing, volume overall changes. But there's ways, busy casinos get just a little bit tougher. But this is not hard to do, knowing what day of the week it is. As you get better at listening and observing while you're in your casino, this will be easy. Eventually, with practice, you'll be able to tell what time it is, what time, with time and practice, that is. So step 5, an unnumbered slot strategy. As you may know, I have 7 numbered winning slot strategies. These strategies are important for you to know, but they are not under discussion now. The purpose of this discussion is to finally write down, explain my 2 other unnumbered winning slot strategies. You already know the first, I just explained it, which is to listen and observe your casino's environment to the level where you know what day of the week it is, if not also the time of day. But how are the observational skills I want you to get great at winning slots, a winning slot strategy? Simple. Everything you see in your casino, besides the slots enthusiasts with playing slots, is controlled. The casino floor layout is carefully designed by experts, including the high limit rooms. The aisles and the larger walkways are exactly how the casino wants them, how they design them to be. It's all being presented to you and set up to help the casino make a profit. Everything you see and hear is a full-blown marketing strategy. But once your observational skills get exercised and revved up, as I think Sally mentioned earlier, being revved up for the show, once you get good at that, you can see and hear for yourself what's happening. And as always with me, once you notice, then you can learn to take advantage of it. Not only does this strategy not have a number, I've yet to give it a name, but here's how it works. The casino's central computer server physically connects to each slot machine in the casino, excluding riverboat casinos. There's no under the floor area, just water under the barge, meaning there's no place for lots and lots of cables. And it also doesn't happen at small convenience store type casinos, which can't afford a server. And what's on that computer server remotely controlling the odds of winning on every slot machine in most casinos, whether they are old three-wheel slot machines, we had a question on that, or the modern touchscreen video slot machines, it's an algorithm. On the server is an algorithm, a program based on a casino setup plan. My 7 numbered strategies take advantage of what that algorithm is doing. Not every strategy works. Not every one of my strategies works at every casino, but each casino might have the algorithm version that one of my strategies takes advantage of. Like strategy 1, it works at one out of 4 casinos. So, but this unnumbered winning slot strategy of observing and listening works at all casinos with a central server. So here it is. Listen to the casino. Is it more busy than usual or less busy than usual? But not because the number of people playing slots has changed. If it's unusually busy, go play a slot machine. If it's not unusually busy, save your money and find something else to do until you hear it get busy. That's it. That's this unnumbered winning slots strategy. Now, step 6, the second, another unnumbered strategy. The real reason why many casinos don't allow pictures to be taken isn't about privacy, having signed privacy releases or copyright infringement. Although those reasons do exist. Casinos don't allow pictures because it's too easy for us to figure out why the design of the casino floor or high limit slot room looks exactly like it is. Are you a facility planner? Like, for factories? I am. Well, I'm more of a hobbyist. I've only designed one building that is the heavy maintenance center at Tinker Air Force Base. Anyway, aerospace engineer. It had some interesting jobs. Anyway, any projects, I should say. So you've heard the 3 most important things about real estate, right? Facility planning is like that. The 3 most important things about real estate is location, location, location. So that's what's important about slot machines. The casino has planned the location of every slot machine on the casino floor or high limit room. And the casino's central server algorithm matches odds of winning to those locations. Why is this? Like my prior unnumbered strategy, it's all about marketing and casino profit. Profit, which might include profit, which might instead be ours if we take advantage of this casino setup. This strategy works at every casino larger than a convenience store, including riverboat casinos. Why? Because it's the oldest way to win. Once upon a time, before central servers with its algorithm came into existence at casinos, this was the only non-luck based way to win. On a past hour-long live stream on YouTube, I call this unnumbered strategy the world's oldest winning slot strategy. Since then, I have noticed that strategy 1, the 5-spin method, is far older than I had thought. I saw it on an old episode of Columbo from the 70s, the one where he solves a murder while he's on vacation on a cruise. But I still think this unnumbered strategy is the oldest. What casinos are trying to do is let others see you win, so that those others get excited and go spend some money playing slots. In this way, the casino can recoup from others some or all of the winnings paid to you. That's the why. But what's the how? How do you find these slot machines at your casino? Well, it helps to know that they exist. Once you know they exist, then you can start looking for them. If you're not looking, it's very hard to find something. There might be up to 3 slot machines in your casino which are set up to have significantly higher odds so others can see its wins. These winners aren't entirely easy to find, and if you do find them, they are likely busy for good reason. Why? Because this unnumbered strategy isn't entirely unknown, but it's not always consciously known. During consultation, during a recent consultation session a couple of days ago, I played a YouTube video I found where a slots channel was walking through an area of my client's favorite casinos. There isn't very many of these videos. Mostly they just stay focused on the slot machine. They have to. But this one YouTuber in San Manuel has a few seconds showing them walking into the high limit room, which I believe I can share. Oh, that's right. So, the other one. Nope, this one. Time's wasting, John. Nope. Well, I'm going to have to, yeah. Well, time's a wasting. Let's keep going. Thought I had that set up. So if you turn down, so that's all the video evidence I needed to point out to my consultation client that high limit machines are most likely set to win. Which ones? And you know what? He already knew. He was so familiar with the high limit room at that casino that he knew from experience that it was often a winner, far more often than most other slot machines. And you know what else? If you turned up the volume of the video, and the link to this show is actually in the show notes. If you turned up the volume, the YouTuber even said so. But neither my client nor the YouTuber could explain why. But now you know why. With this unnumbered strategies, there's only up to 3 slot machines with awesome odds of winnings. But there are many other slot machines with above average odds of winnings. So look for those above average slot machines. Here's how to get you started taking advantage of these above average slot machines. So finding them. Stand in front of a slot machine. Turn around so that your back is to the front of the machine and look. What do you see? If you see a wall, try another slot machine. If you see other people looking back at you, try playing that slot machine. So here, I have an example for you. Right. Here is a free photo of a casino. I don't know which one, from Pixabay, which means I don't need to get a license. It's free for distribution as much as I want. See it? Take a close look at it. Maybe should I zoom in a little bit? Maybe so you can see it, depending on how big your screen is. Okay. Pick the 6 machines you should play. Go ahead. You know, which one should you play at? I found 6. Here, I even made the mouse big. 1, 2. I don't like usually to go to the third one, but this one is easily visible. I usually like to stick to for the first 2, but then there's this third one. These 2. And you know what? That one right there can be seen from a distance. Now, I'm just keeping this simple, all right? I don't want to say too much about this one, which is a wide area progressive, or this one. To me, that tells me the casino's a little bit desperate, that they're trying to get you to come over to those. And it's like, I get a little suspicious when I see those. But these, they could easily, other people could easily see a win on this. And so that's likely to be an opportunity, possibly this one. Now, I don't know if there's anything on the other side of the road because I don't have a picture of that side. And I do wonder kind of what's going on in the back here. You see a wall in the back. Is that a walkway? Is it a big walkway, a small walkway? I'm not sure. But just in this shot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what I'd play. Now, there must be 50, I think it's less than 100 slot machines on this side of the room. And you just went from 100, 75, whatever, down to 6. This is the strategy I'm talking about. Okay. Right. That's what I wanted to say about that. And 2 minutes left. I have several announcements to make. Those of you in the live chat may have noticed a few changes. Some participants now have badges and emojis that can use because they've become members. And so if you, where are you at? Oh, I know. Right. So if you click this join button next to subscribe on my channel, you'll see a list of choices. So I need to sign in. I'll go to the other one I'm signed in on. And you will see this. A short video will play about a minute long, and it'll tell you about the perks and rewards available. And there's 3 levels. Just think of this as a players club. 3 levels: fan, enthusiast, and champion. We have 1 fan and maybe 4 or 5 champions before the show, possibly more now. And then it kind of slides up a little bit. So that's what it looks like on a desktop. You get loyalty badges. Everybody is new because I started this only a few days ago. But if you're here 1 month, you get this badge, 2 months, this badge, 6 months, 12 months, and then more than that, you get those badges. And at the moment, I have these 5 emojis, and I'm trying to pick something relevant. And of course, the first one was a cat. Don't tell the cats. So that's there for you. Also, I briefly mentioned last time my merchandise shelf is available for you. It is now on. So now you have these are available under each video, and also on my page, I was just at, there is now a store. And so you can go here. A lot more colors than before that I had. And so this one might have 15 different ones. Can I do that? See what happens. Yes. So yeah, you've got blue, you've got dark blue, purple, blue, green. And on the back is I'm a slots enthusiast. And on the front is Professor Slots, the logo. I figure if you're sitting at a slot machine, that's what you want other people to see. And so this is available now. And I will take a sip of my branded mug. Or the other side says Professor Slots. So feel free to enjoy that if you care to. It supports the show. Hey, Chuck, welcome to Champion. Member, appreciate that. Let's see. All right. Quickly with the announcements. I have a hardcover. Amazon reached out to me, worked with me, and now I have a hardcover available of Learning to Win on Amazon. I've ordered a couple. I'll show you next time. Also, I wanted to announce a public service announcement. Tomorrow morning is daylight savings time starts. So remember, spring forward on your time. Just service announcement. Also, I wanted to thank everybody who participated in my annual survey. I've gotten far more responses than I really kind of thought I would, which is great. I needed at least 70. I put the link in the show notes, or rather in the live chat. And for those on the podcast, it's professorslots.com/2021 And that is, right. And that is going to be open for a little while yet, but I'm going to close it soon and start up on analyzing it. So I can better refine what my content is. So, and finally, stay tuned to next week's live stream. 2 minutes over. To next week's live stream and the podcast episode, as I'll be releasing important details on the upcoming beta version of my online course. Thanks for a great show, and thanks to everyone who donated in support of the show. It's great to see so many new members as well. And as always, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Bye. Remember to visit professorslots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. This is the next segment of the show on slot machine casino gambling. Here I provide a brief overview of the current state of gambling in a U.S. state, territory, or the federal district, emphasizing by far anything of interest to slot machine casino gamblers. Up next is Louisiana slot machine casino gambling in 2021. Here goes. Louisiana slot machine casino gambling consists of 19 commercial casinos, 4 tribal casinos, and numerous small businesses across Louisiana. The minimum legal gambling age in Louisiana depends upon the gambling activity. For land-based casinos, poker rooms, and the lottery, it's 21. For bingo and parimutuel wagering, it's 18. Louisiana has had a long history of illegal casinos, with the state alternating between raiding illegal casino operations and ignoring them. Eventually, pari-mutuel wagering received state approval in the 1920s. Next, the collapse of the state's oil-based industry in the 1980s led to the extended presence of legalized gambling. Louisiana legalized riverboat casinos in 1991, along with the return of the state lottery. In 1992, an additional provision allowed a land-based casino in New Orleans. In 1993, negotiations began to create state tribal compacts with Louisiana's 3 federally recognized American Indian tribes. A 4th American Indian tribe, federally recognized in 2002, also successfully negotiated a state tribal compact. In 1997, efforts by 3 pari-mutuel racetracks to add slot machines to their facilities was successful. Later, a 4th track received similar approval. Somewhat accidentally, an ambiguous definition for truck stops in state gaming regulations allowed the addition and spread of video gaming devices, VGDs, typically offering versions of video poker, at many small businesses throughout the state. Next up is the usually short statement about slot machine private ownership, which I have included in case you live in this U.S. state and are considering owning a slot machine. Here it is. In Louisiana, it is legal to own a slot machine privately if it is 25 years old or older. The Louisiana Gaming Control Board, LGCB, regulates the gaming industry in Louisiana. The LGCB works closely with the Louisiana State Police's Gaming Enforcement Division. In this section, I'll discuss Louisiana's gambling establishments. Louisiana has 19 commercial casinos, 4 American Indian tribal casinos, and 12,543 video game devices at 1,550 small retail businesses in Louisiana. The largest casino in Louisiana is Coshada Casino Resort with 2,800 gaming machines. The second largest casino is Paragon Casino Resort with 2,200 gaming machines. There are 19 commercial casinos in Louisiana, plus there are 4 tribal casinos in Louisiana. As usual, when there are too many casinos to mention here, a complete list along with a casino map are on my webpage for this state at professorslots.com/LA. As an alternative to enjoying Louisiana slot machine casino gambling, consider exploring casino options in a nearby state. Bordering Louisiana is to the north, Arkansas, to the east, Mississippi, to the south, the Gulf of Mexico, and to the west, Texas. To visit any of my articles on these U.S. states, simply visit professorslots.com followed by its 2-letter postal designation. For example, my Arkansas slots article is available at professorslots.com/AR. Are you interested in sharing and learning with other slots enthusiasts in Louisiana? If so, join our Louisiana Slots community on Facebook at professorslots.com/FBLA. All you'll need is a Facebook profile to join this private Facebook group freely. There, you'll be able to privately share your slots experiences as well as chat with players about slots gambling in or near Louisiana. Again, use this convenient link I've created to go directly to our group on Facebook, professorslots.com/FBLA. Join us. Louisiana has theoretical payout limits for commercial casinos and business retailers with VGDs. Louisiana's theoretical payout limits are, for commercial casinos, 80% to 99.9%, and for retailer VGDs, 80% to 94%. The Louisiana State Police's Gaming Enforcement Division offers monthly return statistics by slot machine denomination for 4 state regions at Slot Payout Summary. These 4 state regions are Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, New Orleans, and Shreveport-Bossier. The latest return statistics are from October 2020, showing a statewide average of 91%. Each state region had the following player win percentages for all denominations: Baton Rouge, 90.5%. Lake Charles, 93.8%, New Orleans, 90.1%, and Shreveport-Bossier, 90%. The denominations of the highest or second highest win percentages for each region were Baton Rouge, $2 denomination at 100.7% and $10 denomination at 99%. Lake Charles, 5-cent denomination at 95.1% and both $2 and $5 tied at 92.6%. New Orleans, $100 denomination at 107.9% and $50 denomination at 101.4%. Shreveport-Bossier, $25 denomination at 107.9% and $2 denomination at 94%. Helpfully, these reports include the number of slot machines with each denomination, but unfortunately, not which specific casino they are at within a state region. It's essential to mention that these player win percentages over 100% typically indicate a large jackpot for that slot machine denomination, which significantly skewed the reported average. In summary, Louisiana slot machine casino gambling consists of 23 casinos, of which 4 are tribal. Further, there are over 12,000 video gaming devices at over 1,500 small business retailer locations. More than a year ago, Diamond Jack's Casino Hotel, Bossier City, closed, although its state gaming license remains available for use. Remember to visit ProfessorSlots.com/subscribe to get my free report revealing the top 7 online resources for improving your gambling performance, including the one I've used as a top-tier slot machine casino gambler. Part 1 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast will include a live stream Q&A session on YouTube. Remember, my weekly Q&A session on YouTube is on Saturdays from noon until 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Bring whatever slots questions you have, and I'll do my best to answer them. An easy to remember link to my YouTube channel is youtube.com/ProfessorSlots. Feel free to stop by anytime during my hour-long live Q&A session. Part 2 of the next episode of the Professor Slots podcast is another brief overview of the current state of gambling in a U.S. state, territory, or the federal district. Next time, I'll be talking to you about the great U.S. state of Maine. That's the end of another great episode of the Professor Slots podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Show notes for this episode are on my website at ProfessorSlots.com/episode 132. I plan to have the next episode come out very soon for you, where I'll have more amazing content for the show. Until the next episode, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Bye.